Hey, we're glad you took time to watch our lessons on some Q&As. We get all kinds of different questions. Is God real? Is God evil? Is God good? Is God loving? Does God care for me? There's all kinds of questions that we have, and we welcome them. If you want to send a question into by our email, just send it to the DeSotoChurchOfChrist.com, and we'll respond to it, or get on our Facebook page and navigate that thing and respond to us. But if we get a question, we'll try to answer it to the best of our ability, and if we don't really have the answer, we'll seek it out and search it out and find out how best to answer that question. One I have today is, does God know the future? Well, I can answer that simply by saying God knows everything. And there's nothing that's hidden from God. God is aware of everything. Now, we can look back at Deuteronomy chapter 29. In verse 29, it says, "The secret things belong to the Lord our God, but the things that are revealed belong to us and to our children forever, that we may do all the words of this law." Now, I read that passage not to escape the question, does God know the future? But to let you know that God, He knows everything, but there are some things that He's not going to reveal to us, all right? But God has revealed many things. Now, sometimes I guess we could ask, in regards to that, it could come from a perception of predestination and the idea of being predestined and knowing who's saved, who's not saved. I think respectfully, we've got to realize that God, even though He knows everything, He refrains. And maybe even restrains Himself from all those things, because that would take away our free moral agency. And we know it's not a predestined plan for individuals. It is a predestined plan for all regarding salvation. Ephesians 2 is pretty clear about that. We know God has a plan, and we know the Bible tells about it. If we look over in Acts, we find after Jesus had died and before He ascended back to the Father, in Acts chapter 1 it says, "So when they had come together, they asked Him, 'Lord, will You at this time restore the kingdom of Israel?' And He said to them, 'It is not for you the times or seasons that the Father has fixed it by His own authority.'" That there are things that God knows, that God contains within Himself, that everything is available and understood by God. Just like before the foundation of the world, God predestined a plan. He foreknew a plan of salvation that included Jesus Christ, the Son of God. And throughout that time, then God worked that plan, and that determined plan of God was revealed when Jesus came and bring us all together and bring us into a position where we can have a relationship with God. But the end of time is also known by God, because God knows He's going to come to a point where He will end everything. Even the returning of Christ is known to God. But there are some things that God probably within His own being, even though He knows the beginning and the end, He is the Alpha and the Omega, He knows all those things, He's given us what we need to know. Now, I'm going to encourage you to study what you have, and that's the Bible. Look into your Bible and read your Bible and see what God says about His plan for you. And make sure you're pursuing the plan that God has laid out clear and plain for all of us.